Hello and welcome. You're here with us on Bloomberg Quint, and Shraddha and I and Bhavesh, of course, are here to wrap the markets up for you. Now, it has been a very quiet day of trade. If you do see how the Nifty has moved and ended, however, do remember that we have swung in the red and then come back in the green. We have also breached the level of 8600 on the lower side and once again come back up to claim an end as far as the green territory on the Nifty goes. But once again, when it comes to the big movers on the Nifty, Shraddha, tell me what's really moved the indices today.
Agam, it's the IT rebound, so led by TCS and Infosys, those heavyweights which actually led to the kind of rebound that we've seen on the index. So it was, if we can point to the chart, it is, yes, your Infosys, HCL Tech, Tata Consultancy, that's your TCS, all of these saw gains of between 2 to 2.5%. On the other side, we have FMCG stocks which saw some correction. So you have your heavyweights like ITC and also HUL, which lost close to 1%. The FMCG names were the ones which were supporting the markets yesterday, but today we are seeing some correction coming there. Telecom stocks were doing well, so you see your Idea, Bharti, Airtel, or even Bharti Infratel for that matter, all of them trading with strong gains today. So telecom stocks were in focus today. Aurobindo Pharma was another loser. We are expecting earnings to come out today, so corrected about 1.5% ahead of earnings. NTPC continued to correct for the second straight day. Tata Power, of course, also ended about 3% lower on account of the earnings miss, and that can be attributed to some one-off factors and change in the accounting standards. So a net profit of just about 72 crores versus the Bloomberg estimate of about 350 crores. Overall, even your entire OMC pack was weak. So if you see BPCL, that lost about 3.5%. After CLSA and JP Morgan cut HPCL ratings after the earnings yesterday. So some contagion effects seen on BPCL also. So while HPCL ended about 5% lower, BPCL lost 3.5%. IOC was also weak and lost about 3%. So that's all the action as far as your mid caps are concerned. But Agam, what are we seeing as far as FNO is trends are concerned? Are we seeing that the expiry related volatility that's playing out today?
Absolutely, just as what you said, and this is more like a typical expiry week session because we have seen swings on the Nifty and we have seen a lot of changes when it comes to open interest as well. So let's move on and see what's happened to the open interest distribution on some of these options, which includes calls and puts. Starting off with the maximum open interest, as you can see now we have well divided open interest distribution between 8700 and the 8800 calls, but given the fact that 8700 is the closer one, that could provide a very big resistance over the next two sessions when it comes to the August series. On the other hand, we continue to see a firming up the base in the 8500 level, along with a lot of resistance with the 8400. So I think we can safely say that 8400 will be a very tough level to take out, at least over the next two sessions when it comes to this expiry. Coming down to what's happened today, we have seen an increase in the 8400 put as evident in the open interest distribution. So we have seen an increase in open interest there, but not much to speak for when it comes to some of the other options. What's positive about today's day of trade is that we have closed above the stability line, and while we have been flirting with that black line here, we have eventually closed above that. So that could be taken as a positive. On the whole, we are looking at a good day given the fact that we have closed in the green, more importantly closed above 8600 level. So that should be taken as a positive, and once again we will be waiting for the rollover data to determine what a lot of these option traders have been doing and the futures traders have been doing in the futures and options space. But until then, Shraddha, what is going on when it comes to some of the mid-cap counters and the activity there?
Agam, I've just noticed PSU banks were doing well today. So names like Bank of Baroda, Allahabad Bank, Union Bank, IDBI Bank also some of the names which were doing good. That apart, of course, are there any names that you want to add?
Well, I've actually noticed some of these counters, such as JP Infratech, 8K Miles, India Cement, Rain Industries, also amid some of the gainers. We have seen about 25 of these counters hitting 52-week highs again today. Z Entertainment, of course, not a mid cap; it's a very much a large cap belonging to Nifty. But Tata Chemicals, Dhanuka Agritech continue to move forward. Vinati Organics is now hitting the 600 mark. Hitachi Homes, as well as Rain Industries, is already mentioned, and Yes Bank, of course, moving from strength to strength. Another Nifty counter moving upwards. In terms of losers, however, we have seen some amount of weakness in Wellspun India, and we will get Bhavesh to speak with you on that one. Indocount, Global Offshore, and Hindustan Copper among the other counters, which have lost significantly in today's day of trade. But coming down to Wellspun India, in fact, the Wellspun Group, Bhavesh, tell me what's going on with these counters.
Yeah, basically the stock hit 20% lower circuit again today. There was a controversy over the issue of the quality of the cotton used by the company, which threatened more of its business after the Target cited reasons that we are moving away from the contract. Now Target contributed 10% to its sales. Now what has happened is exactly what would have been feared by Wellspun. To make matters worse, Bloomberg News has now reported that Walmart is also reviewing Wellspun certification records. So which could lead to other companies also reviewing Wellspun's records. So more 95% of its revenue comes from export. So and all these are big players like JCPenney, Walmart, and Target, and all that. So Wellspun initiated an internal audit process for that, and which will likely to be completed in the next coming 6 to 8 weeks. But in the conference call, the management did not sound any confident, and it looked like the mistakes, or rather the issues, are from their own side. So that is the reason the stock has lost almost 40%. Now one interesting thing that to be noted here is that there are two brokerage houses who have come out with contrary reports post this event. Now Elara has downgraded the stock to a sell, citing lower visibility concerns, but Edelweiss maintains confidence in the stock and says that its long-standing relationship and strong execution record will take it forward. So that's about it. What about RBL subscriptions for the IPO, Shraddha?
Bhavesh, just want to mention one thing. In fact, this is something that you only told me. So, Indocount Industries, that's one company which is a beneficiary of Wellspun India's fallout. So, the direct beneficiary because they are competitors. So, yesterday, the counter did see some move up, 2% kind of gains that it saw yesterday, but today it corrected after it reported its earnings. So negative earnings reaction coming in. So that's as far as your Wellspun story is concerned. On RBL Bank, of course, it's the last day of subscription. The IPO has been subscribed 51 times. Wow. So QIB 83 times, HNI subscribed 114 times, retail 5 times. So I don't know who's really going to get all the share allotment, because in the past IPOs we've seen such big oversubscription numbers. A lot of people have been complaining about not getting allotted any shares, but it does highlight the whole fact that there's big appetite as far as your financials and private banking space is concerned. So that's what this really reflects. 51 times, that's RBL Bank. But that was all of the developments that happened today related to markets. But yes, we will see you tomorrow back again at 3:45 p.m. on Bloomberg Quinn Facebook Live.